Welcome to the FMCG Guys, the podcast that dives into the innovation, strategy, and trends shaping consumer goods and retail in Europe and beyond.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us in this rapid fire session, which is a first here at Shop Talk. I'm clearly branded because I'm wearing a special Shop Talk jacket for the session. And this will actually be a live episode. So we're actually recording an episode on the go. And I wanted to welcome our guest today. Please come on. We have, come on, please. We have Katrina Smart here, who is the VP of Digital Commerce for Mars United Commerce in Europe, a world leader in retail media consultancy and research, and she's worked agency side and on in-store media for over a decade, working hands-on with grocers and CPGs, and has focused on accelerating the retail media industry. Next to her, we have Alexis Marcombe. Did I pronounce that well, more or less?
Perfectly.
Okay.
Perfect.
Who's the CEO of Unlimitall, a joint venture between Carrefour and Publicis Group. Leveraging his background in media and tech, Alexis has led Unlimitall from its inception and drives its strategic vision to deliver innovation in retail media. Prior to founding Unlimitall, Alexis served as the MD for Carrefour Links.
Absolutely.
And last but not least, definitely, we have Rudy Schneider, who's the Director of Advertising for your sales team of retail media experts to empower brands through innovative, data-driven strategies. He has over 25 years experience in marketing and sales across digital, telco, and media industries.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining and thanks for daring as well to come on with me. You know, I'm always a bit unpredictable, never know what's gonna happen.
No pressure.
No pressure, eh? But well, we have an amazing set of, thanks everyone for joining as well. And we have an amazing set of questions here. It's gonna be very quick, questions about retail media, so let's start. So, about the future of retail media specifically. So, in the future, will we stop talking about retail media and see it as part of the broader media mix? And there's a timer for each question. So, who wants to start? Alexis.
Let's go. So, honestly, I think that the media, it's all about audiences and touch points. So it's just a way of transmitting a message. Whereas retail media, it's about retail data. It's all about processing data, processing audiences, targeting, and deterministic data. So definitely, we are using media in retail media for what it is, a way to deliver our message, nothing else.
I would completely agree with that as well. It can never truly be just media because there is such a commercial aspect to retail and retail media. And I just don't think you can forget that if you're buying in a kind of publisher agnostic world that media's bought in.
I believe the question should rather be, what's the future of advertising?
Okay, let's go into it.
And at Amazon, we believe that the future of advertising is creating a holistic supply strategy. A holistic supply strategy that spans the full funnel, but also connects the open internet. And Daniel, you might have heard of it. Think of a retail media strategy as a successful football team. And conversion-based ad formats like sponsored products are the striker. And you need a good scorer to win the game, but it's really challenging to win the game with 11 strikers. And therefore, you need players all over the pitch. And this is exactly how a retail media strategy works.
Interesting. Media networks are kind of being conceived as like a media channel. Do you think that's not very realistic in the long term?
I would say that actually it's more about that growth of self-serve and being able to be, how easy the media is being bought in that perspective. And in that case, you will go a bit more apples to apples with media in terms of being able to buy, measure in such an easy way. However, there will still be that kind of 20% or so that needs to have the commercial conversation, which retail media involves.
Excellent. So let's go to the next question since we're here. How will, I love this one. How will measurement be solved and standardized? And when will incrementality be proven? I mean, it's two questions really. So let's go for it. Rudy.
I believe that the future of success measurement is a holistic approach. And this reaches far beyond ROAS and last touch attribution. Like with solutions like Amazon Marketing Cloud as an example, you can measure success across the entire funnel and really see how your marketing activities are working along the customer journey. And I think that's important to see how every activity is contributing to your success, as opposed to last click attribution, for example.
What do you think, Alexis? Standardization?
Yeah, no, honestly, it's interesting to see that everyone speak about standardization, but can you measure in the same way a Samsung TV sales and yogurt sales? For sure not, because frequency is quite different. The lifetime, the customer lifetime value has to be taken into account, because when you sell yogurts or things like this, you come twice a week buying it. Then, in fact, when you recruit one customer for more than 2 years, the cost, if you consider it for just one purchase, has no sense. When it comes to building the lifetime value, you have something different. But you cannot build it only online, especially when you come to food, because you have 10% of your sales that are online, but still 90% that are in store, which means that you need to be able to process some data, to have some loyalty card, to work on it. It means that omni-channel will be the key more than incrementality. Incrementality is already a reality. We do it always. The only limit to incrementality is the budget that brand can deliver to make sure that the methodology will be relevant. That's all. But it's easy. What would be interesting when it comes to incrementality is to consider incrementality for brands is easy. Incrementality for a retailer is something different. To create the value for a retailer, because for a retailer, substitution can be a point. Oh, I've promoted my yogurt. You sell the yogurt A. Great, you have the incrementality. But for the retailer, without advertising, he would have sold the product B. So how do you measure it? That's another challenge. And this is probably the next frontier to incrementality. It's not for brand, but for retailers.
Yeah, because we always talk about it for brands. We don't really talk about, and it's true that if you're buying like a yogurt, the brands do care if you buy their brand or not, but the retailer doesn't really.
Maybe he would have preferred to sell this private label, for instance.
But also, we're not there with incrementality yet across multiple retailers. So you guys are both leading the way in terms of incrementality measurement. But actually, when you're looking at it, it's incrementality at a retailer, at Amazon. So for a brand, it's the beauty is to be able to see incrementality across multiple retailers, and we're really not there. And standardization won't solve that. That's up to the brands, that's up to agencies, that's up to specific measurement houses to be able to solve that, because not all the retailers are going to work together. You're all not going to sit in a room and data share. Well, I don't think you will anytime soon anyway.
So here's a prediction that standardization is not only that it's not going to happen, basically, no? Because
it will help. It will help.
But is it going to happen?
It'll happen to a degree, but it won't solve everything. That's my view.
And maybe one point to consider, incrementality is a reality for big players. Mm-hmm. So in Europe can do it. Honestly, 5, 6 maximum.
Well, and here we'll hear the buzzer for the first time. Here we go. By the way, I don't know if you can hear as well. There are some headphones over there if you couldn't hear as well. Okay, next question. How should brands best structure to engage with RMNs to have a great cooperation? Or let me put it another way. What are brands doing wrong according to the retailers? Or maybe Katrina, you can start since you're in the middle of them as an agency.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of back and forth about where retail media should sit. Future state, we're starting to see a lot of brands have retail media COEs, retail media squads, those types of things. I still think it should sit within sales. We've seen brands specifically.
Yeah, that's not what I'm hearing from other.
I know, but then you've seen US brands who have moved it into media and are moving back now, and these are big CPG brands. So I think it's interesting to see where, there's no right or wrong, really. I think it also depends on the structure of the organization, but I'd love to get your perspective.
I believe that my wish would be that brand teams and e-com teams continue to work closer together. Imagine what happens if they combine their expertise and leverage on their full knowledge. And we can already see this happening with some brands, and they become really successful with this approach. And this requires that they have a shared budget, that they have shared KPIs, and they have combined measurement, which is really important.
Let's give an example. Let's assume, it's pure theory, that my on-site advertising is bought by the e-commerce team, that my off-site advertising is bought, whether the media agency, whether maybe the media team is agency, that my in-store advertising, as I'm omnichannel, is managed by the trade team. And it's measured by maybe the data team, maybe the IT team, or maybe the insight team in the advertiser. You see there that we have already 7 people involved into what we are calling an omnichannel play and game. So when it comes to that, of course, you need to have the CEO of the company say, hey, this is important, please improve things. Because when you work your retail media in a proper way, you definitely increase your ability to have power with the same media budget. Yeah. You really invest your money in a better way. So here, in fact, what they should do clearly is to break silos, to align on KPI, and it has to be led by the CEO. And this is definitely where media agency have the expertise to already manage the complexity of this big organization. And the big advertiser and big brands are complex organization. And one of the things that media agency do perfectly well is to align people because they talk to the CEO. And then it is then everything. And it's really a need that we have.
Is there an ego game going on behind the scenes as well between the salesperson, the marketing person?
I definitely think so, but I agree with you in terms of being able to have that connectivity within omnichannel. It's so important to have that red thread, and I think that we are doing that. That it's not for every campaign. It's for your big campaigns. It's for your MPD. It's for your big bets that you'll have with a retailer. But it's few and far between. So as a brand, you might be running that 2-3 times a year versus the rest of your retail media budget. So it's about how we can connect the dots all throughout the year. Has that red thread going through it?
Let me jump on it for 1 second. It means that brands have to reconsider the way they pay their media agency to work in retail media, because it's quite different, and you cannot have a percentage on media spend to pay the expertise that you need for retail media, because it's people that are really expensive, really expert, and you have to pay for it. It's a service that you will not have if you don't pay for that. So I totally agree with you.
And I think it's also important that brands start thinking full funnel.
Start thinking full funnel. Because I think from the faces that I'm seeing here, we have a lot of brands here. So.
And, the buzzer. However, once you see how a full funnel campaign is working and that it's working, then both teams will support the full funnel strategy.
Yeah, I think it's has a major implication of more agile ways of working, dynamic teams, etc., which goes against our classic hierarchies that we've had during centuries, probably. Yeah. Okay, next one. Will AI and automation simplify retail media or just add more complexity to an already crowded space? Alexis, I think you're keen to answer.
Okay, no, why not? Yeah, almost every way. First, because it will allow everyone, or at least the one who have structure first, you need to have structure your data before doing any AI. In fact, if you feed an AI model with garbage data, you will have a turbo garbage out data at the end and nothing good in terms of AI. So you need to have structured your data, to have managed your semantic approach to make sure that you can use it. Once you have done it in the right way, it will be a game changer to process insight directly and automatically. Then to directly and automatically process audiences, to manage campaign, optimize it directly and in the flow. So it will change absolutely everything, and you will just have to ask what you want to your agent, and it will be delivered. It's not for next year, but between the next 18, 24 months, we'll have really things that will work.
Yeah, I think we're in a day and age, and planning more than 2 years is kind of unrealistic as well. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's already starting.
It's time.
And AI will help brands to achieve better results with the existing resources. And the challenge is how to use AI and when to use it. And AI will help smaller brands as well. It will help smaller brands with limited knowledge to go full funnel. And bigger brands to take on a pioneering role and experiment with AI. Examples are like contextual advertising, something we're introducing right now, which allows an ad message aligned with the content of a page or a video the user is watching. This is step changing in a way. So this is just the early beginning of AI, but shows the potential.
Levels of how you're utilizing AI as a business as well within retail media. So, we're using it to plan budgets more effectively, choose which retail media networks we should be investing in, looking at, all the media plans and things like that. That's like first stage. And then it's actually how do you then step on and look at those other elements and before you get to that agent to agent shopping and actually advertising to an agent over a consumer. So there's a whole kind of level of AI that you have to get to. But I do think it's going to cause complexity in the short term because there's a lot to upskill on, and there's, you have to make sure that you bring your organization on the journey with you. But longer term, it'll be amazing.
And you don't think there'll be like a bit of chaos of like agents acting like against each other and all, like, you know what I mean? Like a bit of like a Wild West type of situation.
To my point of view, it will be the exact same that players will be able to offer this kind of AI facilities, agent, and so on. Because just to structure your data, it's already a nightmare. If I see the number of players we are working with, there are very few that have been able to structure it at scale. And you need scale to then play with AI. So honestly, I don't think so. I really don't think so. It will be a real accelerator for everyone because you will not have to determine precisely what I should do. The agent will tell you, okay, you have an issue on this product, on this kind of population, on this channel, I'll target these people. And then measure and increasing, because to my point of view, the point is not about managing the funnel, but managing a loop. And in fact, we are managing a loop today because everything we do enrich the other action to improve the end game, the results and the sales.
So next 18, 24 months, we said, no? Where in the marketing funnel should retail media play if the funnel still exists in the future?
So if I go on with that, I don't think the funnel is relevant anymore when it comes to retail data, because every kind of action we may lead will contribute and enhance the results that we have. Let's assume that I target advertising on my site. Okay, I get KPI, I understand who has been targeted, what is the action. It fits my model. Then it comes to off-site. Okay, this is the same people, this is what I've learned. Okay, then I evolve the creative, maybe the targeting, maybe, I don't know. Then here's both the product. Okay, in my site. Okay, I send a CRM email to say, thank you, maybe you can try this. A coupon to say, okay, let's try this product. So everything we do, to my point of view, is the loop. And that's to come back to loop with the first question. Will media and retail media above it? Because it's about data. And then it's a loop. It's not awareness to targeting. It's awareness to real sales and then improve the loop.
I mean,
yeah, how do you see? Do you see things in the same way, or?
We see things in a very similar way. As said before, we believe in the concept of retail. The future of retail media is full funnel. So it doesn't make sense to ask the question, where should the retail media sit? It's full funnel. And retail media.
Thank you for joining us at Shop Talk Europe.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Closing in 5 minutes.
I have to hurry up, obviously.
That's a proof that we're actually recording it live for when people listen to it.
So beyond full funnel, retail media will connect retail media and the open internet and bridge both together. I think that's the future of retail media, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely full funnel. We are no longer in the space where we're thinking about that more old school traditional, I wake up and I'm on my sofa and I'm get targeted with an ad and then I drive to store and listen to it on the radio, get to store. It's completely changed, and that will change even more as we move to a more personalized and relevant experience throughout that full funnel journey when you're looking at targeting people through identity and you're looking at targeting specific audiences rather than looking at different media types that sit within a more of an, outdated funnel. We know that, we have enough data to know that the funnel is dead. It's the shopping journey has changed completely.
But isn't the reality a lot of times when brands or retail, especially retailers, when they talk about like a successful retail media campaign, it still feels very lower funnel, like very activation. I spend money on retail. Like, that's what I majorly hear.
Yeah, but that's...
Am I speaking with the wrong people?
Yes, that's the reality. However,
Okay.
However, I think this is where measurement comes into play.
Yeah.
Because measurement has to show how the different ad formats work together and show the better together of the different ad formats. Just to give you a practical example, we did a meta-analysis of more than 3,000 brand lift studies and saw that video ads combined with display ads achieve a 3 times higher brand awareness lift compared to video alone. And we saw the same on purchase intent, which was even 3 times higher. This clearly shows that better together is working, and that's the future.
That's absolutely true. We see the exact same thing. When you play an omnichannel, the point is not about the story you tell. It's about how do you measure things and how do you make sure that the methodology that you use for measurement you're working with.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as this.
A lot of change management internally for brand leaders as well. Oh, we're done already. Well, thank you to the 3 of you for joining me. I had a lot of fun. I thought it felt more like 10 minutes than 20. And thanks everyone for joining. And we'll see you in the next episode of the FMCG guys.
Thank you.